It all started quietly, too quietly. Training camp had wrapped up, and the Browns were heading into the preseason feeling cautiously optimistic. Dillon Gabriel, the rookie from Oklahoma, had just finished a decent set of practices. He wasn't spectacular, but he was steady, precise throws, quick reads, a clean camp overall. The coaches liked his discipline, the media liked his story, and most of the fans, well, they just wanted something consistent for once. But deep inside the organization, a different story was brewing. Because behind closed doors, ownership wasn't satisfied with steady. They wanted spectacle. Jimmy Haslam had seen the headlines, the jersey sales, the buzz online every time Shedeur Sanders' name popped up. He knew what Deion Sanders had built, not just at Colorado, but in the public eye, a brand, a movement, an empire. And Haslam wanted that energy in Cleveland. He didn't want another system quarterback. He wanted a superstar. The first signs started showing during open practice sessions. Reporters noticed that Shedeur Sanders, who had only recently joined the Browns, wasn't acting like a backup. He was leading drills, calling audibles, pulling receivers aside for one-on-one adjustments, behavior you only see from starting QB. Even veterans were drawn to him. The way he carried himself, the calm, the confidence, it was Deion's son through and through. And when Shedeur threw, it looked different. Smooth, quick release, perfect zip. It wasn't just about arm strength, it was command. Fans started recording his throws, posting them online with captions like, "He's him. Start Shedeur now. Gabriel's nice, but Sanders looks like the real deal." Within weeks, Shedeur's highlight clips were outpacing Dillon Gabriel's in online engagement by nearly 10-1. That didn't go unnoticed upstairs. Haslam reportedly asked his media team for weekly social metrics. Every week, Shedeur's numbers climbed higher. Every week, Gabriel's dropped. And so, the whispers began. Coaches still had Gabriel penciled in as QB1, but it was becoming clear that someone else in the building had different plans. It hit a boiling point in midweek meetings. Offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt had the playbook drawn up with Gabriel as the starter. Short passes, bootlegs, conservative play calling. A game plan designed for rhythm, not fireworks. But then came a call. Jimmy Haslam's office. No warning, no formal invite, just a message sent down through channels. Rework the plan. Shedeur needs first team reps. That's when things got ugly. Stefanski pushed back. He argued that Shedeur was still adjusting to the NFL system, that rushing him could set him back long-term. But Haslam didn't want to hear it. He wasn't asking. He was ordering. Behind the scenes, coaches began to split into two camps. The traditionalists, who believed Gabriel had earned his shot, and the visionaries, who believed Shedeur was the future. Meetings turned tense. Film sessions were interrupted by passive-aggressive comments. Players started whispering in corners. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, the leak happened. It began with a late-night tweet from a major insider. Big developments out of Cleveland, Haslam reportedly pushing for Shedeur Sanders to start week 1. That was it, just one post. But within minutes, it blew up. Talk shows ran it. Podcasts debated it. ESPN dedicated an entire segment titled, "Is Jimmy Haslam overriding his coaching staff?" The Browns facility was chaos the next morning. Players arrived to a swarm of reporters outside the gates. Gabriel walked past cameras with his hood up, headphones in, no words. Shedeur, on the other hand, showed up early, calm, smiling, focused. He didn't say a word either, but his presence said everything. Inside, Stefanski tried to regain control. He called an emergency team meeting. He told the players not to believe rumors. But before he could finish, someone's phone buzzed, another alert. Browns insider confirms Haslam's decision to start Shedeur pending preseason finale. The locker room erupted. The preseason finale was supposed to be Gabriel's statement game, one last chance to lock the job. But when game day arrived, something fell off. Even the commentators sensed it. Shedeur was warming up alongside the starters. Gabriel was throwing on the sidelines, isolated. At kickoff, the announcement dropped like a bomb. Shedeur Sanders will start the first half tonight for the Browns. Fans went ballistic. Half cheered, half booed. And Gabriel? He stood by the bench, helmet in hand, face frozen. The first drive told the story. Sanders came out calm, confident. First play, quick slant completion. Second play, rollout, D-ball, perfect strike. The crowd exploded. By the end of the quarter, Shedeur had thrown for 112 yards and a touchdown. Gabriel's name wasn't even mentioned on the broadcast after that. After halftime, Gabriel finally entered. It was his last chance to fight back. But his first throw picked off. You could see it in his eyes, the frustration, the realization that his moment was gone. Every snap after that felt heavier. Every incompletion drew louder groans. By the fourth quarter, the chants began. We want Shedeur. We want Shedeur. And that was it. The Dillon Gabriel era, short, tense, and now effectively over. After the game, Stefanski faced the press. He tried to dodge questions, calling it a competitive evaluation. But everyone could see it. This wasn't a coaching decision anymore. The cameras cut to Haslam in the owner's box, grinning. He didn't need to say anything. His decision had already played out in front of millions. Back in the locker room, Gabriel sat quietly, still in uniform. Teammates patted his shoulder, but there wasn't much to say. Football can be cruel, and this was one of those moments. Across the room, Shedeur stood surrounded by reporters. When asked if he knew about Haslam's decision beforehand, he simply smiled and said, "I just came here to compete. Whatever happens, happens." But his tone, calm, measured, confident, made it clear. He knew exactly what was happening. By Monday morning, internal leaks painted a clearer picture. Haslam's strategy wasn't just about football, it was business. He had reportedly mapped out an entire rebranding plan around Shedeur Sanders. New marketing campaigns, jersey deals, sponsorship packages, even cross-promotions with Dion's media brand. Shedeur was to be the face of the new Browns, a young, marketable quarterback with star power and swagger. And while most owners stayed out of football decisions, Haslam saw the NFL as entertainment and Shedeur as box office gold. The front office was told to prepare for a new era. Gabriel's locker was quietly moved. Shedeur's, meanwhile, was placed front and center. Even the team's social media reflected the change. Highlight clips, interviews, captions, everything suddenly featured Shedeur. It wasn't just a player promotion. It was a takeover. The following week, Haslam addressed the team privately. He didn't mince words. This organization is moving forward. We're here to win and to build a brand people believe in. Shedeur represents that future. If you're not on board, this might not be your team. No one spoke, but the message was clear: adapt or get left behind. From that day on, practice felt different. Receivers ran sharper routes. The offensive line blocked a little longer. Even the defense seemed to test Shedeur harder, but out of respect, not resentment. Dillon Gabriel, meanwhile, quietly requested a trade. And though no official word came out immediately, everyone in the building knew. His time in Cleveland was over. When the season finally kicked off, there was electricity in the air. Every seat filled. Every camera pointed toward one man. Shedeur Sanders, the new face of the Cleveland Browns. The player who wasn't just chosen by the coach, but handpicked by ownership to lead the franchise into the future. He took his place under center, looked up at the defense, and smirked, the same calm expression that once defined his father. First snap, play action, deep throw, completion, 48 yards. The crowd went insane. It wasn't just a football play. It was a declaration. The Shedeur Sanders era had officially begun. And somewhere up in the owner's suite, Jimmy Haslam leaned back, satisfied. He had done it. He made the call no one else dared to make, if for better or worse. The entire NFL was about to find out if he was right.